Mix 1077, the 80s to now. My favorite girl, Suzanne Somers, wrote a really cool book. It's called Tox-Sick. Suzanne's joining me now. Hello.
Hi, Gina.
Hello, girlfriend.
Hi, how are you?
Are you sick of me yet? I think this is
No.
like our third interview.
No, I love the sound of your voice. You have a great radio voice.
Oh, you are so sweet. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Since I've talked to you so much, I'm going to tell you about something else.
Okay.
I'm doing a bikini competition June the 6th.
Ooh.
I know, and I've never done it before, and I thought,
Whoa.
I thought, let's just do it. But I'm on such a specific diet, so I'm eating even more clean. I'm probably eating like you, like super organic, super crazy. So I'm like cutting weight and leaning up. It's really nice, and I feel awesome.
Don't you, I mean, when you give your body what it needs, there's just a sense of well-being. I'll never go back to eating the other way. I look at when I see food in front of me that I know is just loaded with chemicals, I can't eat it. I guess if I was starving to death, I would, but that would be my criteria. The other thing that I think people don't understand is the devastating effects of sugar. Nobody loves sugar more than me. I mean, I used to accept wedding invitations by, I would say to my husband, they'd have a good cake.
You're like, you know what? We're going because that food's going to be amazing.
Because I love cake and ice cream. I love it.
Yeah.
But when I got the black mold in my intestines, like I had been telling you, I didn't know sugar was the trigger. So I'd wake up in the morning, my stomach would be perfectly flat. By the end of the day, it would look like I was giving birth to a basketball, and I couldn't figure it out. And so many of my friends said, "Oh, me too. I can't hold my stomach, and I'm always cramping and gassy, and I can't lose the weight." And that was me. There was 10 pounds I just couldn't get rid of until I connected the dots. Every time I ate even a bite of sugar, that mold in my stomach had a happy meal. And just one mold organism can multiply 52 million times in a 24-hour period if it's given sugar, and that's what that basketball was. So I decided a year ago, no sugar, none. I'm going to try it. And the first couple of weeks is probably what I've
worst,
heard.
right?
Yeah, like being going off heroin or something.
Right.
But I mean, I was crawling the walls just because the little bad guys in your gut are going, "Give me what I need, give me what I need, give me what I need," and you have to decide you're going to murder them. I'm not giving you what you need, and not only that, I'm going to smother you with fat. That's where coconut oil and butter and cream and sour cream, as long as it's all organic, is your friend. And the book will explain why when we gave up fats, we got fatter and sicker. So go back on fats, stop the sugar. I did it for a year, and I'm now so off sugar that when I see it, I don't want it. Someone gave me a box of chocolates the other night, which normally I probably would have finished in a night.
And it's just not worth it.
It's not worth it. I finally have a flat stomach again. And at my age, it's really hard to have a flat stomach because hormones are working against you and everything. And I'm wearing the size clothes I used to wear on Three's Company now.
No
as a result of just giving up sugar and grain. But I replaced it with, if I'm craving where I normally want a cupcake or something, I have a wedge of cheddar or a piece of brie. Or for dinner, when I eat a huge dinner, I'll have a grass-fed steak with a pat of butter on it at the end, melting on it, and I'll have a baked potato. I'll put butter and sour cream on it, and vegetables tossed in olive oil, and that's a great meal. And it's a meal that we've all been taught, don't eat that. I've never been healthier. I used to run very acid. I'm just right in that middle between acid and alkaline, which is probably the greatest cancer prevention you can do to your body. So I'm telling you, there's a new way to age. There's a new way to be well, and you actually, as you know, you have to start today.
You do, and I've given your book. I have a coworker here at work whose son just experiences a lot of issues.
ADD and ADHD and all that.
Exactly. He's reading that book, is to try to help his son.
Well, it could change his son's life to get this information this early on. The Environmental Working Group did a study of newborns. They tested for 287 different toxins. Across the board, every single newborn had 180 different toxic chemicals already in their little brand new bodies at birth. 100%. This whole thing about vaccines, they're talking about vaccines a lot. how do I feel about vaccines? Vaccines are designed for a perfect immune system, and then they work. And here's the dilemma. I don't know what I would do if I was a parent. Well, yes, I do know what I would do. But because the babies are now being born toxic, because the mother is toxic without even knowing it, and the mother doesn't have a balanced flora
They
in her
can't
GI
handle
tract.
the vaccine.
Right. And so they give the baby the vaccine, and that's when you have this chance for everything to go wonky. If I had a baby, if it were my baby, I would first make sure I had that baby flooded with probiotics so that GI tract could be colonized properly. I would make sure before I gave that baby a vaccine that this baby's immune system was tested to make sure that immune system was in perfect shape, and then I believe I would give a vaccine. That if it were my baby, I'm not giving advice. This is just if it were my baby.
Right.
But to just randomly upon birth give a baby a vaccine
because somebody tells you to, it's
right.
That's the best argument I've ever heard. Is okay, maybe it's not the vaccine that's bad, but it's our bodies that aren't getting the proper nutrition, so it's not going to react the way it should.
If the mother is, if I were a gynecologist and I was taking a woman through her pregnancy, I would make sure she changed her diet to organic. I would make sure I flooded her with probiotics. Excuse me, it's early.
Oh,
I'm a Vegas performer.
You're in Vegas.
I'm up late now in Vegas. It's so fun. Oh, you have to come see it. It's so fun.
Oh, my God. I know. I was going to ask you. You got to follow me on Twitter so when I come out, I can let you know, and maybe we can get a quick picture.
Oh, I want to meet you. I want to meet you, and you will love my show. You know, as a woman, my age is such an asset to me now because when I walk out on stage, it's taken me all these years to know who I am.
Yeah.
And you can't captivate an audience if you don't know who you are, if you're doing an intimate show like I'm doing. There's no script. I know where I'm going from point A to point B.
Right.
But in between, I react to the audience. I talk to the audience. I go out in the audience. I sat on an old dude's lap last night in the audience. He was so cute. His name was Peter, and I'm singing this song to him, and he says, "Can I take you out for dinner?" He's like, into his 90s. I said, "If you can figure out how to do that, I'm coming."
That's hilarious.
Right. Anyway, let me just go back to birth again.
Yes, okay.
Because this is all in Tox-Sick. Here's an interesting thing. And this is what happened to my two granddaughters who grew up on organic and, no abuse in their family. Everything's great. It's just the way it should be. Why did they go down starting at 9 years old with food allergies and puffy faces, and they're little dancers, and they're able to put on 10 pounds in a week, and then for little girls, that's the most devastating thing, and then they develop eating disorders because they don't want to eat. Here's what happened to them, and I think this is their scenario. They were both born cesarean. If you're born cesarean, there's one vital-to-life journey we all take through the birth canal. And the first swallow we take is not air. The first swallow we take is our mother's vaginal flora. But if you're born cesarean, you miss that, so you never get your GI tract colonized. So you're already, without knowing it, allergic to everything. And when I think of these two girls as babies, they had a lot of crying and projectile vomiting and all these things, and I'm now realizing it's because your stomach was already all messed up, and as a result, one has ADD, the other one has ADHD. The first one has OCD, plus now she's allergic to almost all food. Gluten intolerance was the first thing, and then she couldn't have eggs, and then she got exposed to mold at school, and then she got bit by a Lyme tick. This poor child lost a whole year of school because as a straight A student, she couldn't think. That's what ADD does to your brain. You can't think. I'd say, honey, put the plate in the sink. She'd just stare at the plate, and I'd say, pick it up. Then she'd pick it up, walk it over to the sink, and then she could do it. Put it now in this. It took that many commands to do a simple thing, and this is a kid who's super smart. So this is what's happening to kids all across the country. It's probably what you're going on with your friend's son. And there's a way to get it all out of you.
Tell me the name of your book.
Tox-Sick, Tox-Sick. It will tell you how you got cancer and how to manage it from doctors who understand. I said, does all cancer start in the stomach? And he thought about it, and he said, many. And I knew it was a very thoughtful. He didn't want to say most, but I knew he was going towards most. So it's a really important read. I learned so much interviewing these doctors, and it's life-changing. So between that and on stage every night at the Westgate, come.
I will. And follow me on Twitter. It's Gina_Ferraro, and we'll hook up, okay?
Okay, my Italian friend.
Yes.
Okay.
I can't wait to talk to you again.
Okay. By the way, tickets for my show at westgatevegas.com.
Perfect. Thank you, dear.